Okay, it's 9:05. I think we can start the presentation. I will give the word to Catherine, who will lead the presentation of Aewen.
Okay, hello everybody. So I'm happy to be here with you this morning to share information on our Aewen project. So as you might already know, Aewen stands for Africa, Europe, Water and Energy Network. Do you see my screen is evolving? No? Yes?
No, it's not
No?
working,
Wait.
Catherine.
So let me just check again because so is my screen okay now? You see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I will work like that. So as I just told you, Aewen stands for Africa, Europe, Water and Energy Network. It's a European project. The project, the presentation is in 3 parts. So I will first explain you the context and the objectives of the project, the activities we work on, and the network that has been built and that we continue to build. So it's a COSME project. So COSME is the European program for small and medium-sized enterprises. The project lasts for 2.5 years. We started last September and the project lasts until March 2024. It's a project that has been set up by 4 European clusters. So Tenerdis, that is a French cluster in the energy sector. CWP, Catalan Water Partnership, is a Spanish cluster in the water sector. Then Clever Environment Park, who is the Italian cluster, and Tweed, which is a Belgian cluster. So I will leave the word to my colleagues from each cluster to present their cluster. So Melissa for Tenerdis first.
Yes, so hello, my name is Melissa. I work at Tenedis. We are, as Catherine said, a cluster focusing on renewable energies, and we are located in France in the region Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes. We have over 260 members this year, and it's a network of industrial, small and medium companies, research and technology organization, as well as public bodies. And we cover a wide range of, we cover the entire energy value chain. So going from wind to solar, through hydrogen, biomass, and so on. And our role in the Aewen project is to coordinate and monitor the project, to support the internationalization of small and medium enterprises. And we are also responsible for the cooperation with Senegal, so we are in contact with our Senegalese partners.
Thank you, Melissa. So Tweed is a Belgian cluster organization. We have over 150 members, almost 150 members. We work on solutions in the energy sector. It's like energy and environment. And lately, we also worked a lot on the water sector. That's why a new cluster H2O, was created last month. So it's very new. We also cover the entire value chain of the energy sector, but focusing more on smart grids, hydrogen, mobility and storage. That is the themes where our current projects are in. Our role in the Aewen project is to work on the partnership building, to co-develop the joint internationalization strategy plan and roadmap. And we are responsible for the cooperation with Morocco. So we are in contact with our Moroccan partners. For CWP, Clara.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Clara Sierra and I work in the Catalan Water Partnership as a project manager. At the Catalan Water Partnership, we work for the sustainable use of water at all levels. We are located in the northeast of Spain, in Catalonia. The CDP was launched in 2008 with the main objective of improving the competitiveness of its members. We currently are 118 members distributed throughout Catalonia. Our network includes consultancies, public bodies, knowledge centers, and other entities involved in water cycle and solutions for the sustainable use. And some of our objectives are the promotion of innovation, research, and development projects, well, to increase the digital transformation in water sector, the business development, the circular economy, and of course, the internationalization. We are involved in many projects, national and European, and our role in Aewen project is the communication and dissemination of the project. We are behind the social networks like LinkedIn, Twitter, the website, the news in the ECCP, and well, of course, we are also supporting the internationalization of the SMEs that are interested in these countries.
Thank you, Clara. And now I give the word to the colleagues from Italy. Giulia.
Thank you, Catherine, and good morning to everybody. I'm Giulia Razzetti from Environment Park, which is a technology park that manages a cluster, both in the technology park in the cluster and in the cluster. We work on sustainability and green transition. Our cluster is called Clever, and we work in the Piemonte region mainly. So in Italy, in the north of Italy. Our network is of about 160 members, and they are mainly SMEs. We work in the energy sector, but also in broader sectors, which means we work on circular economy, sustainable mobility, and clean solution for industry. In the Aewen project, we are responsible for the work package that is related to onboarding SMEs and stakeholders, and also for the cooperation with Tunisia. So that's our role. We work a lot in international projects. Now we have about 20 projects on clean technologies running at European level, and we also work much at the regional level. So I hope our role will be useful to the project, and I welcome you all.
Thank you, Giulia. So as you can see, the project was built with 4 European clusters, and as the is to Africa, we have a target to start with. So the purpose, the first is to create long with actors from Tunisia, and it was to countries, target countries were chosen in function of their ambitions in renewable energy. As you can see here, Morocco has a very high ambition for renewable energy. Tunisia and Senegal as well have high ambitions, and also in function of needs to excel. Voilà. So I hope it's okay. So those 3 countries are the target countries that we start with. And we focus on those 3 to start. It might be that we change later, that some other countries can be added into the network, of course, but this will be on a later basis. So the other objectives of the project are to recruit and support innovative SMEs, On the European side and also on the African side, because the objective is to make the network and to be able to join SMEs from Europe with SMEs from Africa. Also to promote the internationalization of those SMEs, of the European and of the African SMEs. To do so, we capitalize on strong common identity concerning green transition solutions for water and for energy, because these are really the two focus sectors. We can work on water projects, on energy projects, but also on projects that link both, because the water energy nexus is very important. Also, we want to create an Africa-Europe water energy network that will last beyond the project. So I told you the project will last for 2.5 years, but the purpose is that the network lasts after this time span. The objectives of our project are in line with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN, and more specifically will help to realize objective 6, 7, and 17. So the 6 is the clean water and sanitation, the 7 for affordable and clean energy, and the 17 for the partnerships for the goals. The main activities we work on are to develop a joint strategy for internationalization and to liaise with the EU SMEs, the African companies. We have made a catalog, I will show you afterwards, and we create partnerships with the local structures in Morocco, Tunisia, and Senegal to develop this joint action plan together with our local actors. We will organize some online activities like this webinar today, for instance. So as you know, I here present the project, and after the break, you will have a session with specific return of experience from companies who already joined the network and who are working in Africa. We will have some country days, I will explain you later as well, and some missions on the field in Morocco, Tunisia, and Senegal, plus one additional mission. We have not determined yet where this last mission will take place. And there will also be some B2B meetings in Europe during established events. So in numbers, you can see that we have several targets. We want to have partnership agreements signed within 2 years. We want to have 15 of them. We'll have 125 European African players cataloged, having some more European clusters or business network organizations to be involved in the project and in our activities, to organize those B2B meetings in Europe and also during the missions. And as I told you, we will have 4 missions. For each mission, we would like to have at least 15 European SMEs who are participating to the missions. The timeline and activity is as follows, as you can see here on my screen. So we have started in September. Until December, we did some work on engagement of the EU SMEs and some internal analysis, meaning analysis of the SMEs that already are part of our network. And we also worked on the communication strategy. For now, between January and May, we are working on cooperation with our African stakeholders. We did some co-construction workshop with them, and we have identified some key partners we want to sign cooperation agreements with, and we are in the process of signing them. We also are onboarding more EU SMEs. That will be, as from today, my colleagues and myself will explain you at the end of the presentation how you can become member. And then we also work on the joint internationalization strategy. And after May, we'll have more webinars, and then we'll have missions to Africa, B2B activities in Europe, and then we will enhance the international partnerships throughout this time. So I'll show you more in detail what we have done yet. So the identification of our EU SMEs, a first version of the catalog that is available on our website, and the internal analysis. So this was done, and also the communication strategy. We have developed a brand identity, a website, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And Fabienne will send you the links to those in the chat, and they also appear a bit later on the presentation. So you can just follow them and follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and watch our website as well. So the catalog, I start with that one. Here you have an example of the catalog. We asked each company to put themselves on some value chains, the horizontal value chain going from R&D to promotion and awareness, and also on the water and the energy value chains. As you can see, you can have some companies. Here are the 4 companies that will present later on in the second session, their return of experience. So as you can see, it is a catalog made of different companies, and for each company, we have made a focus on what they do in the water value chain, in the energy value chain, and where they already work in Africa. After that, we have done some internal analysis on who answered, where in Africa do they already work, and how we can go, how we can analyze better who those SMEs are and how we can support them to further internationalize if they already do. This, for instance, is an example of the internal analysis. It's the water value chain. So we have more companies working in the water treatment, not so many in the wastewater collection. And we did some cross value chain analysis as well. So on the vertical and horizontal value chain, who works where and does what. And you can see that some still, there are still some gaps to fill, so it will be interesting also in the further analysis. Same for energy, where we did some analysis on what have been, where our companies, where our SMEs already work. Then the communication. So we worked on the branding. As you can see, the logo of the Aewen really mixes Europe, Africa, and makes a network between both, mixing water and energy also with the colors. Then the website is here, the LinkedIn, you can follow us, and we will make a specific group for the members, and also on Twitter. So what is ongoing now is that we are signing some cooperation agreements. Here below, you can see the ones that have been signed already with our African partners. Here, the partners from Senegal, and also in Tunisia, we have signed already, and the other ones are under discussion. So the aim is to strengthen this international cooperation in both sectors and to increase the sharing of the knowledge and of the know-how of the countries, to develop a common action plan and to have a sustainable community of organizations. So what we are doing now is we are updating, what we will do is update the EU SME catalog. So this one is now existing with 63 EU SMEs, but of course we want to increase the number of SMEs of our network. So we will show you at the end of the presentation how to join the network and to be part of the catalog as an EU SME. On the other hand, we're doing also a catalog for the African organizations and SMEs. And so this African catalog is under construction right now, and there is another formula to fill in for the African partners. So how do we go forward? What are the other activities? Is the webinars and the online events. So a webinar like today first, and there will be other ones. This is why we will also ask you later on, what are your themes, topics of interest, so we can organize the following webinars in function of your interests. And we will organize some country days. The country days are specific webinars on one country. So for instance, we'll do one for Morocco, one for Tunisia, and one for Senegal. It's a 2 or 3 hours webinar where we have a sort of get to know each other, and we can have more specific questions on one country. We will have all the local players being present and being able to answer to your questions, and they will also give you a better insight on the local markets, the key actors, etc. So there will be one per country. This will be webinars, so also online events. And then for missions, of course, the missions will be on site and not online, hopefully. And then during the missions, we will have some B2B meetings that can be organized. These B2B can also be organized in Europe during specific events where we will be present. So that was the Aewen network during the setup of the project. And we increased this network already with some new companies. I will start because these are the members of the Tweed cluster who joined already in the water sector, in the energy sector, and we have a majority of SMEs, but also one bigger company. And we can have other people who are member who are not SME. They are not part of the catalog yet, but it's a network, so we think it's important to have many actors integrating the network at different levels. Maybe I can leave the word to Melissa for the French companies who joined the network.
Yes, so we have 20 companies from France who joined the network. They mainly are from the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region, but companies from other regions are also welcome to join, and we have some. As for Belgium, it's mainly SMEs, but we have larger companies as well. And altogether, they work mainly in the energy sector, but we also have companies working in both sectors or with application, for example, for the water sector, but mainly focused on energy.
Okay, thank you. And here, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, those are the Italian companies. As for Tenerife, also the Clever cluster has a more regional approach, and so most of the companies are from our region, Piemonte, but not only. So we have some companies from Tuscany and some from Lombardy, and we would like to have other companies from Italy, all the nation. Our companies are all SMEs, and some of them belong to the Clever cluster. Some of them have joined the Aewen network, and they're not members of the cluster, but they're members of the network. So we're very happy to have met them. Some of them, we met them for the first time to work together on Aewen, and so this is mainly what we have been knowing them doing the catalog together, and many of them work on energy, but many of them also on water. And I think they are all available to be known. What I noticed that I can tell to the companies that are attending the webinar now is that the Aewen network is useful, of course, to go to Africa, to go to the target countries, but also at European level to know other companies that are working in energy and water sector, because we organized an event for the Italian companies that are part of the Aewen network, and they did networking among them. So this is already a plus, and we still have 2 years to go. So I think the relationships also among European companies will strengthen on. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Julia. And Clara, for the
Yes.
Spanish companies?
And we are more than 15 companies of the Catalan Water Partnership. And we have majority of SMEs that works in all kind levels of water treatments. And for example, today we are joined by companies such as Unix, that are manufacturers of insulating and flexible systems of water conduction, as well as Ecosystems, which designs, develops, and manufactures seawater purification systems with energy recovery. But well, of course, we hope that many more Spanish companies can also join the network. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Clara. Okay, so this slide you already saw before, but here it's just to show you that the companies that join the network work for some of them, like almost half of them in both water and energy. Some work only in the water sector and some work only in the energy sector. And this map here shows where those companies, those 63 SMEs already have projects in Africa. So in total, we have 70 companies who joined the network, from which 63 are SMEs. So how can you join the network? Because this is also a very interesting question, and we already had some SMEs asking us. So as Julia mentioned, you don't have to be part of the clusters to be part of the Aewen network. You can be part of the Aewen network without being part of one of our clusters. But for sure, we will discuss with you and see what you are doing to make sure that we understand well and the purpose of your company and how it can fit in our network and how we can add you in the catalog. So to the people who want to join, the organizations who want to join, have to agree with the objectives of the network. You can find them back, of course, on our website and also in the presentation. Have to be interested to go international in one or more of our target countries. So Morocco, Senegal, or Tunisia, or both of the three of them. And then what we expect is that, of course, you participate in the activities and benefit from the services. So the information sessions, the webinars, the matchmaking events, the country days, etc. And then what it will give you is to gain some visibility in Europe and in Africa, because of course this catalog is used by our local African partners as well. And it is also a tool that can be used for dissemination. If someone asks us, do you know people who work in the energy sector? It's very easy for us to say, oh yes, but we have a catalog. Please, you can find it. It's downloadable on the website. So you can gain some visibility in Europe and in Africa with the network and with the different tools that will be available. Also via the LinkedIn or via the groups. You will be informed on the opportunities to go international, and you will construct the network that will be organizations. So it's something very dynamic, and the purpose is to work together with all the members to make it something that is useful for everyone. The membership is free of charge for the project's lifetime, so meaning till March 2024. To join the network, there is a link here. You can see it goes to Google form. And if you go to the Google form, there is a form. You have to fill it in. Of course, read carefully and fill correctly the data, because it is the data that will appear later on in the catalog. So it's very important, of course, to fill it correctly. I would say from the beginning. Of course, you can always join us if there are some points to update or to change or voilà. So who can join us is all companies, including SMEs, of course, but also larger companies working in fields of water energy. The business and innovation network organizations can also join the network, the research and technology centers, and also organize for economic development. So feel free to go on the form to fill it in and if you have some questions regarding how this. Voilà, I think now it's the Q&A session. I don't know if you hear me very well or.
Thank you, Catherine. The end was, you lost a little connection, but
sorry.
I think that we heard the main information and it was very interesting. To the participants, if you have questions, please write them in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen. And now that we presented ourselves, we also wanted to ask you some small questions, to send you a little survey to know you also, so where you come from, and another question on that will be yet now posted in the discussion. Please take a short time to answer the question on Mentimeter, and we'll share the result with you. And if you have questions and for Catherine on the project, please write them in the Q&A. Thank you. Okay, so the first question is, where is your company located? In which city? And you will see the results. Julia will share them with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So please keep answering so that the words will grow or add to the cities. Okay, so we can see we have companies from all 4 countries, France, Belgium, Italy, also Spain, from different regions in Surstein. We'll give you 30 more seconds to fill in and to share with us, and then we'll move to the other question to know you better.
By now, it looks that Barcelona is the most common answer.
We also have some participants who joined from Senegal. Very nice. Very international.
Then we have another question that is asking about your organization, if it's SMEs or support organization, business support organization, and or a big company. So there is another link to fill. Fabienne is going to share the screen for the results of the other survey. If everybody is finished with the city, I think we have an idea of where you come from. Okay, I think some of you still have to answer, but the majority now is SMEs, as it is a webinar for SMEs and business support organizations. It means it makes sense also. But we know that there are many participants, more than 40, so maybe we can still wait for some other answers and see how it goes in a minute. I correct myself now, there are more than 50 participants, so it's growing. Also having business support organizations and other companies, it's very good for the network because as Catherine said, the network is meant to be expanded, and so business support organization or other clusters can help us to disseminate this opportunity to other companies, and also big companies can join the network, and so having this variety is really good, I think.
While we wait for the answers of Mentimeter, we have a question from J. Helios Light, who asks, have you analyzed the motivations of Aewen members, for example, business development, sales, technology, field experience? Well, I can answer that yes, we have analyzed the motivations of the Aewen members. As Catherine mentioned before, we did some study with all the members and all the SMEs that wanted to be part of the network, and we analyzed. But if someone wants to say something else.
Yes, as Catherine said, when we know better the members or the candidate, let's say, because they belong to our clusters, it's easier, it's quicker, not easier, but it's quicker to check their motivations, because we call each other and we just update each other. With other companies, we can have interviews and see just to be sure if the goal that they have is feasible, is correct for this project, and also, as we said before, to get to know what they do, what their technologies are, or their knowledge, their experience. So answering the survey is the first step, but by answering the survey, you don't immediately become a member of the Aewen project. There is a selection because, of course, the companies that are joining the network do need to have some qualifications. And so I think the process is answering the survey, and then if we know them and if we contact the company, and we will also ask you for some more additional information and so on, and then we publish your profile in the catalog, and you are in. Okay.
Thank you, Julia. I can see that someone rose the hand. Maybe can you give them the word, as you have the power to do so? Okay, so Jean-Luc, you have to agree to open your microphone, and then you can speak and ask a question. Okay. It doesn't work. If you have questions, really maybe just write them in the discussion or in the Q&A.
Or I can, for a second, promote this person as a speaker and see if we can, or maybe lost the connection. Okay, can write in the chat.
It's in Italian, the question.
We'll translate it,
Yeah,
if I'm able to. Is it in the chat? Or... Sì, grazie.
yes.
Okay, and he says, "Good morning, everyone. We would be glad if we can talk about energetic technologies and something like that, but they have a limit, which is a linguistic limit, and so I don't know. It's not really a question, but we can answer anyway."
Okay, I will contact this person because we know each other, because they are in our technology park, and so we can have an interview later on. Okay.
If you have any more questions, now is time. Otherwise, we will meet again at 10 a.m. for the second session, which is the roundtable. So that means if there is no more question, then we will have just a short break and resume at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't see anything coming.
No, I don't see either.
But thank you for your participation in this webinar, and we hope that it was helpful for you, that you get to understand better the Aewen project. Thank you to Catherine, who presented it. And if you have any question, please go on our website. There is a contact form. You can ask your questions or contact one of us if you already are in contact with one of the clusters.
Yes, usually it's easier if you already know one cluster, just contact your contact point and we can help you further to have all the information on the project. If you want to be a member, we can send you the links again, etc. So do not hesitate, and see you at 10 for sure.